Very good afternoon, Zimbabwe. My name is Tsenengamu Godfrey. I would like to welcome you to today's press conference, which we are having here to address Zimbabweans within and without our borders on the political developments pertaining to the candidature of our independent presidential candidate, Comrade Kasukuwere, and the way forward. So with me here to my left, you all now know this lady, the Iron Lady. She is the presidential spokesperson and our chief election agent for our independent presidential candidate. To my right with me here is Comrade Jim Kunaka. He is in charge of organization and mobilization in this campaign, where he is in charge of 3 provinces, that is Mashonaland Central, Mashonaland West, and Harare provinces. I had forgotten to say the name of my sister to the left. She's Miss Jackie Sande. I think most of you saw her when she gave a statement after filing the nomination papers at the High Court just recently. So to my extreme right, we have a comrade who is in charge of the administration of the whole campaign here in Zimbabwe, and his name is Comrade Xavier Kazizi. So I would want to say to all of you comrades who are in attendance, you are welcome as we hold today's presser. So like I said, today's agenda is basically to give an update to all Zimbabweans within and without the Zimbabwean borders on how far we have gone in terms of our preparations regarding the elections that are coming on 23 August 2023, where you are aware that we'll be having harmonized elections. So like I've always said, we are moving with our presidential candidate, who happens to be none other than Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere. Zimbabwe, you are aware that there has been some issues surrounding his candidature, where there has been doubts over whether he's going to be a candidate or not, where there has been speculation whether he's going to participate or whether he's going to be in Zimbabwe to participate physically, and some other issues. So this presser seeks also to address on all those matters. As you are also aware, Comrade Kasukuwere is coming as an independent presidential candidate, which means that he is not representing any political party. He is coming in as a unifier, because Zimbabwe badly needs somebody who brings everyone together. Why? Because a divided house doesn't stand. A divided house cannot prosper. So Zimbabwe has been experiencing toxic politics. There has been a lot of polarization politically. There has been no national consensus. We have failed to find each other as a people because of the binary nature of our politics, where one has to belong to either party white or to party black, where there is no room for middle ground, where people have been left with no alternative of leadership, where people have been promoting partisan politics instead of developmental politics, where people have been pushing partisan interests ahead of national interests, where people have been pushing partisan policies over national policies, where people have been pushing partisan ideology instead of coming up with a national ideology. So Comrade Kasukuwere is coming in with a life-saving board for all Zimbabweans. He's coming in to represent people from across the political divide. You are very much aware that in the past he has been in ZANU-PF, and after the events of November 2017, he found himself out of that party and has not associated himself with any other political party. There has been efforts by Zimbabweans locally and internationally to try and lure him to come to Zimbabwe and take part in Zimbabwean politics and be part of the governance structure, be part of the national leadership. But he took time until the voices became louder and louder. And you are aware that some of us held a number of press conferences calling on him to come home and consider taking up national office. So you are aware that he then released a statement to the effect that he has agreed to come and take up the challenge of saving the people as the president of Zimbabwe after the elections that we are going to have on the 23rd of August 2023. So he has responded to the call by the people. So he's coming in as a people's candidate. He doesn't belong to Jackie, he doesn't belong to Tsenengamu, he doesn't belong to Jim. He's coming in to represent the vendors. He's coming in to represent the students, the youth, women, those in labor, those from across the political divide, war veterans, war collaborators. Us who are in Zimbabwe currently, and those outside Zimbabwe, and generations to come. He is not going to segregate against anyone. He is taking everyone on board. He has built the biblical ark like Noah, which is accommodating every type of an animal. Mungarava ya Noah, tsuro dzaivamo, mbizi dzaivamo, huku dzaivamo, shiri dzaivamo, nungu dzaivamo, even chidembo chaivamo. Everything became to be part of Jakanga Zviri Mungarava ya Noah. So, as President Kasukuwere will be coming, because he is coming, people have been saying, is he really going to come? Is he not afraid of being arrested? No, the president is coming. Your candidate is coming. We know that you are tired of the polarization that has been going on in Zimbabwe, the toxicity in our politics, the failure by the leadership to deal with the bread and butter issues affecting our people. Where you find people having obsession with power, others being obsessed with wanting to accumulate power, others want to retain power, while others would also want to acquire power. But doing all of that just for the sake of it, but with no clear cause of what has to be done. So as Comrade Kasukuwere is coming, what is his agenda? His agenda is going to come from you, because he is your candidate. He is just but a messenger. You have to tell him what you want him to do for you when he gets into government. He is a people's servant. He is coming in as a servant leader. So we said, you don't have to worry yourself, Comrade President, by wanting to come up with the best manifesto, because Zimbabweans know what they want. The young people in Zimbabwe know what they want. The women in Zimbabwe know what they want. Professionals in Zimbabwe know what they want. Everyone in Zimbabwe knows what he or she wants. And all you have to do is to come and allow Zimbabweans to speak to you, to send you on a mission so that you do that which Zimbabweans want you to do socially, politically, and economically. So we have now embarked on a process of gathering views, opinions, and suggestions on what Zimbabweans think President Kasukuwere and his incoming government must do from 2023 to 2028. So the agenda must be coming from you, the people. And what Comrade Kasukuwere is just going to release will be a summarized version of your wishes, of your views, of your proposals on what his government must do for you. Why we decided to do that? Because we are fed up of a politics where a few people, the elite, sit down and say, what can we say to the people so that we hoodwink them into believing that we are pushing their agenda? We said, no, we must bring a new type of politics. So this is what President Kasukuwere is bringing. He's saying, Ditu may tell me what you want, and I'll do just that. So people have been asking, how do we become part of this campaign? How do we become part of this movement? And this is why we are here today to answer to those questions. Those who want to be part of this historic movement, of this just struggle against the exploitation of the masses, against looting and corruption, against the capture of the state by a few individuals. Here is how you are going to be part of this great movement. The movement that is going to usher in Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere as the president from the 23rd of August up to 2028. I have said we have a national team which was announced by Dr. Walter Mzembe, who is our chairman, who is leading the Xavier Kasukuwere presidential campaign team, because we are not a party. We have an administrative unit which you are all aware consists of Munyaradzi Bwanya, who is the chief of staff, which consists of also Midzi, who is our chief legal officer, which also brings on board my sister to the left, who is the presidential spokesperson, and the chief election agent. And those who have been advised who are also in charge of international relations. But we now have a structure which is in charge of mobilization and organization, which is in charge of recruitment of the masses, which is in charge of organizing the people, of organizing the masses, to make sure that the people are aware of what they must do and what they must expect or what is expected of them, which is the mobilization team. So I am heading that mobilization team as the national convener, but I am not working alone. Like I said, Comrade Jim Kunaka is in charge of 3 provinces, that is Harare, Marsh West, and Marsh Central. Comrade Musaire is in charge of Mashonaland East and Manicaland. Comrade James July is in charge of Mashingo and Midlands provinces. Comrade Godfrey Malawa is in charge of Bulawayo, Mat North, and the Matabeleland South provinces. So we have 4 regions: the eastern region, the northern regions, the southern region, and the western region. So these 4 comrades will be working with provincial conveners, because these are regional conveners. We have Comrade Pemenai in Manicaland, though we shall be absorbing him into the national team with another assignment, but for now he is in charge of the Manicaland province. Then we have Comrade Shova Wilson in charge of the Midlands province. Then we have Comrade Munatsi, who is in charge of Mashonaland West province. Then we have Comrade Dixon Matthews, who is in charge of Mashonaland Central province. Then we have Tulani Ndlovu, who is in charge of Bulawayo province. Then we have Mastole, who is in charge of Matabeleland North province. Then we have Comrade Mpahla, who is in charge of Matabeleland North province. Then we have Comrade who is in charge of Harare province, Comrade Makoto, who is working with Comrade Mkahanana. Then which other provinces have I left out? So I think we are done with the provinces. So these are the provincial conveners in charge of the campaign. And below these provincial conveners, we have constituent conveners who are in charge of mobilization in this election at constituents level. We shall be releasing very soon the list of those in charge of the 210 provinces countrywide. In charge of the constituencies, the 210 constituencies. My apologies for that mix-up. Then below the constituent conveners, we have ward conveners who are in charge of all the wards in all the 210 provinces and all the 210 constituencies and all the 10 provinces. So this is the mobilization structure in charge of mobilization ahead of the general plebiscite as was proclaimed as we are all aware. So we now have people who are supposed to be doing the actual mobilization on the grassroots. And these are what we term pyramid conveners. People who will be in charge of mobilizing one person to the next person, from this person to the other. So those who want to partake in this campaign, you have to mobilize 40 people. If you want to be part of this great history, you have to mobilize 40 people and you become the pyramid convener. Those 40 people you would have mobilized must proceed to mobilize 40 people again. And those mobilized must also proceed to mobilize 40 people until we have covered every corner of Zimbabwe. Don't bother yourself whether they are ZANU-PF, they are CCC, they are from whichever party. Go and mobilize everyone. Because Comrade Kasukuwere is not discriminating against anyone. He's going to work with everyone. His government is going to be made up of even ZANU-PF MPs who are progressive, CCC MPs, independent MPs, and from the slot of 7 people which are provided for by the Constitution, whom the President can appoint from non-constituent MPs, is also going to pick from experts, from technocrats, not just some of us who are politicians who may not be having expertise in any field. So he's going to assemble a team Zimbabwe, which will be taking from every corner. Because Zimbabwe requires all her children to work together in order to progress. Because the best ideas are not restricted to a single political party. So ZANU-PF MPs are welcome to support the candidature of Comrade Kasukuwere. CCC candidates are also welcome to support the candidature of President Kasukuwere. Independent candidates are also welcome to be part of this and support the candidature of Comrade Kasukuwere. Why? Because one who pushes partisan interests cannot unite the people. It is only somebody who doesn't belong to a party who can bring everyone on board. And it was deliberately decided that Comrade Kasukuwere is not going to field all the 210 MPs because he wants to work with everyone. So this is how things are going to work out. And this campaign, for your own information, is not targeting anyone. We are not doing this against anyone or any political party, but we are doing this for the sake of Zimbabwe, because somebody has to stop the bleeding that is going on. Somebody has to take up from where Zimbabwe is and rebuild, which is why from the 5 areas where we are going to focus, Comrade Kasukuwere is coming in to restore Zimbabwe, is coming in to restore livelihoods, is coming in to restore your dignity, he's coming in to restore every broken piece of the Zimbabwean society. The second era is reconciliation. He's coming in to reconcile every Zimbabwean, to heal the wounds. Zimbabweans have been fighting for too long. We have been on each other's neck for quite some time. So he's coming in to bring everyone on board. He's not coming in to avenge or to seek to settle scores with anyone. No. He understands the task at hand, that Zimbabweans must be brought together. We must find each other. We must build bridges, because there is more that brings us together than that which divides us. So Comrade Kasukuwere's government, because it's going to be made up of every Zimbabwean, will make sure that it reconciles every Zimbabwean, including dealing with sensitive issues like Gukura Hundi. He has to deal with that in making sure that he brings people together without trying to settle scores or without trying to be going on a witch hunt mission. So whatever that happened in the past, he's coming in to say, let's find ways of rebuilding this. But he's not going to impose on the victims on how he thinks these issues have to be resolved. He's going to come and work with the victims and work with the communities that were affected. And the third era is to reform. He's going to lead an agenda to reform institutions, ZEC included, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission included, the Zimbabwe Lands Commission included, reform even our security sector, so that it is not partisan, but it is national in nature. The problem is not with the security sector. The problem lies with us politicians who seek to manipulate such institutions for our benefit as individuals and for our benefit as political parties. So Comrade Kasukuwere is going also to come and institute our media and reform our media institutions, and also reform even the judiciary and all other critical sectors of the economy. And he will be doing that objectively, because he's not pushing a partisan agenda. He's pushing a national agenda. He's fronting national interests. And because his government will be having those from across the political divide, there will be national consensus. People will have to sit down and agree on what is best for the country than what we are currently witnessing, where a political party forces its agenda on the people without the consent of everyone. And the fourth thing that he's going also to do is to rebuild lives, rebuild our economy, rebuild our industries, rebuild our broken societies, rebuild families, because families are broken. Imagine somebody in UK for 10 years. A husband is in the UK, a wife is in Zimbabwe. So he's coming in to build every broken piece of Zimbabwe and make sure that Zimbabwe stands on its feet again. He is going to awaken Zimbabwe as a sleeping giant economically and most importantly socially, so that people can enjoy Zimbabwe going forward. And the last ara is on that he is going to revamp or renew all our systems, our health systems, our infrastructure, all the social systems, all the economic systems. He is coming in to deal with that. But in terms of how he has to do that, this is now what we have given back to you as Zimbabweans, as citizens, to say, bring in your suggestions. We are going to give you a number to which you can send your suggestions. We are going to give you an email and all platforms that you are going to use to send in your proposals, your policy proposals, your views or your opinions on how your candidate or how your people's president must deal with these issues going forward. And today's presser is not by coincidence that we are having it on the 1st of July 2023, because you are aware that today marks the anniversary of the death of one of our founding fathers, Father Zimbabwe, Dr. Joshua Mklabuko Nyongolo Nkomo, who left us on the 1st of July 1999. But why did we choose today, the 1st of July? Because in one of his statements, Comrade Nkomo said, the young people who rescue this country, if the current leadership or if the current generation, which was of their time, was not going to do right, he said the young people will stand up and rescue Zimbabwe. And so we are coming to you, Zimbabweans, especially the young people, to say 23 August offers an opportunity for us to correct what has been wrong for all these years. To elect a leader who is willing to correct all the wrongs that we have experienced. A leader who has experience in terms of governance. A leader who knows how government operates. A leader who has experience of being in power and of being out of power. Because what Comrade Kasukuwere has went through has helped him to get first-hand experiences of what the general person goes through on a daily basis. So he is now geared to make things right. So those who want to be part of this arrangement, like I said, you are welcome. Let's spread this word wherever we are. What I would want to say in conclusion is, many people have been asking, what are we going to get out of all this? It is your emancipation that you are going to get out of all this. Socially and most importantly, economically. Because he is coming in to make sure that Zimbabweans take charge of their economic resources. You are aware that Zimbabwe has got more than enough mineral resources, but we remain poor and begging. Why? Because all our mineral resources have been taken by a few individuals. All the economic opportunities are in the hands of a few people who are linked to a family, to one family. Even those in ZANU-PF are not enjoying. Go and ask them. They've been coming to us, and we are happy that they've realized that it is only Comrade Kasukuwere who can take them and all Zimbabweans out of the misery that they find themselves and that we also find ourselves in. So people have been saying, what is Comrade Kasukuwere going to give us? And here is the response. He is here to save you. But this fight is not his fight. It is our fight. It is our struggle. It is us who invited him to say, come and lead us. And he has answered to that call. Kumusha tichakura vamwe tisati tonamata. Taiziva kuti kana munhu akasvikirwa akanzi tete Sande vanoda kusvikirwa nemudzimu wemusha. Unenge uchinzi unoda kuya kunochengeta musha. Unoda kusvika apa. Sandivo vanomhanya kunotsvaga mamera, votsvaga huni, votsvaga madrum, vochera mvura, votsvaga ngoma, voridza ngoma dzacho, kuimba, kuombera, kuridza mururu, vozovaridzira rupasa, vonogara pasa kuzviimbira nekuombera. Sandizvo zvinoitwa nevedzinza vanenge nemasahwira vanenge vachiziva kuti kana dzimu rasvikira apa richabatsira isu semhuri. Ndozvataiziva tichikura tisati hedu taziva Kristu taakunamata. Hatina dambudziko nevanoita chinamato chavo. Aiwa, mumwe nemumwe ane right yekunamata zvaanodini, zvaakasununguka uye zvinomuitira. But I'm just explaining to say, in the same way that people take collective responsibility to do that in their families, this is what must apply in this case. That Zimbabweans must know that this is not about Comrade Savior Kasukuwere. He is just but a medium. He is our messenger. We are giving him the assignment. We are giving him the task. So, kwatiri tese kwavachasvika kwavachakundikana kusvika, imi muri kufambisa ishoko. Ndoda kuti nditi kune vari kuma strongholds emamwe macomrades atakashanda nawo ora atinoshanda nawo. Don't worry yourselves. Nekuti tipei maskipa tipfeke, torai awe iwayo mupfeke. Kurali endai dzavo idzodzo. Mbeu endai munopiwa mbeu dzavo idzodzo. Slogan itai futi dzavo idzodzo. Because we don't want harm to come your way. There is no point in being reckless. There is no point in being reckless. Because hakuna munhu mumwe chete watiri kuda kuti arohwe kana kutakwa namabwe. Tinoda kunosvika musi wa 23 Juni takakwana. Saka handei tichiita chimunzwa mundoro zinoirema. Kumaundawenuku kwakaitwa slogan, ma-youth chairman nema-provincial members vakatifonera vakati, Comrade Tsenengamu, musaone tanga tichiti slogan yekunzi pasinemi tamanikidzwa. Ndikati aiwa, kana even musina kumanikidzwa vakati itaika 1 imi dzokororai ka 10. Because we want you to be safe. Zvikanzi aiwa takusiya hedu zvigaro tiresign, ndikati musasiya, garai murimo, because they will victimize you. Rindirai murimo, itai semarombe, but musingapenge, muchiziva zvamuri kuita. But shoko ngarifambe kuti bhora pana Kasukuwere. Kune vamwe vakanga vachishaya vachiti no, tinoda kuita bhora musango. Kune mamwe mapato handichataura nemazita. Muri kuzviziva, mune kunyunyuta nezvamanga muri kuitwa. Tauya nesango racho. Tauya kunozikupai sango rokurovera. Heri sango iri. Harina minzwa. Uyai murovere musango iri. Sango rine huchi nemukaka. So this is what I thought I must share with every Zimbabwean. Those in the diaspora, mobilize your parents. Mobilize your brothers and sisters. Talk to them, because you must come back home. Mobilize them to vote for one of your own, because Comrade Kasukuwere has been with you out there. He has experienced what you are going through, and he knows your situation. So avadi kuudzirwa nemunhu kuti vana vari mudiaspora vari kutambura sei, because he has seen it all. So he is your best foot forward. Asi kana moenda kuno campaigna kwamuri kuenda uko, kwamuri kuno campaigna, imi vachange vachi campaigna, mundiregerere, ndinoda kushare nemi the 12 commandments dzema pyramid convener dzatava nadzo dzatiri kufamba nadzo dzinobatsira pakufamba kwose kwatichaita ndo dzichange dzichigaidha ini nemi pakukurukura kwatichaita nevabereki. The first commandment out of the 12 commandments, dzenyu maconvener. Convener is the mobilizer. The mobilizer ndiwe organizer or a commissar. Everyone is a commissar. The first commandment, as was adopted by the leadership, which includes our president, our presidential candidate, Comrade Kasukuwere, and the leadership, is that let's put God first before all things, because He is above everything and all. That is the first commandment. The second commandment is talk nicely and politely to the masses of our people. Engage the masses with respect and humility. Do not insult or use vulgar language at any given time. Zvechiginda goria nezvechiganyabvu pakampeni ya President Sevia Kasukuwere aiwa. Taramba ivo president vazviramba. Chetatu, you are a peacemaker. Shun political violence. Shun every form of violence. Always preach, promote and practice peace. For only a peaceful and stable country can prosper. Zvemhirizhonga, zvehondo yamakudo pakampeni ya Comrade Sevia Kasukuwere tati bodo. So, kwete nekuti hatigoni kutsimhanda orotsiva, because hakuna political party inoti vanhu vakaijoina ine school of martial arts aiwa hakuna. Kana zviri zvibhakera vanhu dai taitidzoseranai hapana asingagoni kurova mumwe, asi nekuti tati isu hakuna chinobuda nekurwa. Vakasukuwere vati shun political violence. Every commissar, every convener, every organizer must be a peacemaker. The fourth commandment is do not plan or do evil to your political opponent or a competitor. Never seek to bring harm to anybody. Life is sacrosanct, and it must never be lost on the account of political differences. Ndo mutemo wechi number 4. Musaplana zvakaipa. Zvinhu zvedu tunoita masikati machena. Hurukuro dzedu tunoita masikati machena. Echishanu, be a unifier. Never promote divisions and disharmony among the people. For a divided house will never stand. Zimbabwe needs all her children to prosper. Endai munoshanda pamwechete nevanhu vari kune mapato akasiyana siyana. Vaunzei muchikepeji. Vaunzei mungarava yaNowai nokuti ndo mune upenyu. Kunyangwe nzou netsuro nechidembo zvakasiyana, asi zvakadzidza zvose kugara mungarava imwe chete. So musazobvunza kuti iwe wabva nepi, iwe wabva nepi, sekutaura kwandaita. Even vari mupolitibhuro yeimwe bato vari kumhanya zvakare naComrade Kasukuwere, but handingataure nemazita avo pano. But vari kuti aiwa izvi zviri kuitika chaora ichi, regai tiwane kuzvinunura tibve padambudziko ratiri. So that is the other commandment in terms of unity. The sixth commandment is never use intimidation, force, coercion or blackmail when seeking the support of the masses. Rather teach, persuade and encourage them until they share the same vision with you. Because tese semaZimbabweans tiri kutambudzika kunze kwembavha shoma. Saka hapana reason yekunovhundutsira vamwe, yekunoshandisa force oro kumbunyikidza vamwe. Handei tinotaura navo. Macomrades achienda kuhondo vaiva ne, is it 8 or 10 points of attention dzavaiti kune nzira dzemasoja dzekuzvibata nadzo teerera mitemo yose nenzira dzakanaka. Voti taurai zvakanaka neruzhinji rwevanhu, musave munotora zvinhu zvemasi edu, bhadharai zvinhu zvose zvamatora, dzoserai zvinhu zvamatora kumuvengi, batai zvakanaka vasungwa, musaite cheupombwe muhondo yechimurenga. These were the pillars dzakaita kuti vana baba vedu vagone kurwa hondo yechimurenga vagokurira. So isu tauya ne-12 points of attention dziri kugaidha isu patiri kuenda. The 7th commandment is shun corruption. Never extort or demand material support from anyone in the name of the struggle. Let those who wish to give material support to the cause do so willingly and voluntarily. Ngakusave neanofamba achiti vakasukuwere vati ndionei kuti ndizokuonai, kwete. Havasi kumbodaro, havasi kupema because he is not a beggar. Asi kana kune vanoda kusapota donzo ratinaro iri, ngavaite saizvozvo pasina avambunyikidza kana avamanikidza. Uye ikoko kunze mukaona anouya achiti ndini national convener, ndini regional convener or provincial convener or pyramid convener, ndanzi ndidai, tiudzei monomangara kumapurisa imbavha iyoyo. Because we don't want people who go out there and put the name of everything that we are doing into disrepute. Number 8 is never abuse the name of our leader, Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere, for personal gains, as this puts the name of the leader and that of everyone involved in this struggle into disrepute. Vamwe ndio vanoziva nekutonyoresa vanhu kuti tikuprotecte tikudii. We want to change all that. So there must never be anyone who must go out there and use zita raKasukuwere kuti yes baby ndide because ndini Tsenengamu national convener waKasukuwere. No one will be allowed to do that. If anyone comes across munhu anenge achidaro, report to us and we will deal with that person accordingly. Number 9, commandment number 9, be compassionate, be caring and kind to everyone, including those who oppose your views and choices, for they remain your sisters, your brothers, your mothers and fathers. We are one people. Let love lead. Hakuna zvazvinotibatsira kuvengana, hakuna zvazvinotibatsira kurwisana, hakuna zvazvinotibatsira kurongerana chakaipa. Ngative ine rudo, ngative ine moyo unonzwira mumwe. What does it help you to be a multi-billionaire when Jackie is dying because she cannot afford to buy mapirits ekuzvirapisa? You can have all the mining claims, the gas, the oil, the lithium, the gold, the diamond. Zozokubatsirei. So, sema conveners, sema commissars, sema organizers, we are commanding you and instructing you to be compassionate, to be caring, to be kind. Not because you want people to vote for you, but ngazive mumoyo menyu hauna chaunobva nekungova munhu akanaka. Mwari vanoda izvozvo. Commandment number 10. Ibata iyi. Kuma candidates vari kumira sema MPs, sema councillors, nemi the campaign teams dziri kuenda kumusha. Do not seek the support of the masses using false promises. It is not just bad but also unnecessary. Be realistic and genuine. Do not lie to the people. Musanyepera vanhu. Musarevera vanhu nema nekuvavimbisa nema. endai kuvanhu muchitaura chokwadi, muzvipire kwavari kuti munoda kutumwa navo, munoda kuvashandira. Mufudzi wemombe haangauyi pamusha achiti ndoda kufudza mombe dzenyu kuti muone kuti ndiri mufudzi wakanaka, ndinoda kukuunzirai jongosi remombe rakadai so. Kufunga kwenyu jongosi iri anenge ari wana kupi? Kana mukazotanga kushaya majongasiwo enyu nematsiru, musashamisike nekuti anenge kuda kuchitsiva raakambokupai mukaita usavi. So you don't need to worry yourself about going out there to bribe people or to buy votes. Because vamuzoreva muna 1980 vakatombotenga mavhotsi evanhu, vakaita party ye 3 weeks dhindindi vachiurayira vanhu mombe, vakavakira vanhu dzimba, vakapa vanhu magejo nemabhasikoro, vanhu vakatora, vanhu vakarova mabiko, but havana kunovhotera vamuzorewa. Vamuzorewa, out of 3 mahelicopters avakashandisa pakukambena, vakawana 3 seats, 1 seat for each helicopter. So don't get yourselves worried about vari kuenda vakatakura makutukutu emari. Ngavaiendese kuvanhu, ngavadzosere kuvanhu, nekuti ndeye vanhu, nekuti vazhinji vacho ndeye kuba. So endai munoudza vanhu kuti mari iyoyo torai mudye. Uku tinoti kudya, torai mudye. Take it. Vakauya nezvavauya, even regalia ikauya yakawanda, because tiri kuziva kuti iri kuya about 5 million. Imwe yacho pfekedzai zvimaskreko kumunda kana dzawandisa, torai dzese, because zviri kutengwa nemari yedu, zviri kutengwa nemari yenyu. But imi eregai kunonyepera vanhu, taurirai vanhu chokwadi, musape vanhu mafake promises, ingovai vanhu muvanhu. Commandment number 11, inoti, do not spread false information about any political opponent for cheap political gains, for this does not only damage other people's reputations unnecessarily, but also destroy lives. Hatidi kuti mufambe nechipi propaganda yekunotaura nhema pamusoro pevatinokwikwidzana navo. Hamusi kuzonzwa tichitukana navamunangagwa, hatina nguva yaizvozvo. Hamusi kuzonzwa vakasukuwere vachitukana naadvocate Chamisa or navamonzora. No, because he says, I want to work with all of them. When I become president, I'm going to incorporate people from across the political divide to be working with me in rebuilding Zimbabwe. So I don't need to spread false information about them or to damage their reputations. Imi zvamunoziva pamusoro pangana munozviziva, zvamunoziva pamusoro pauyu munodini munozviziva. Saka hazvina need yekuti isu tifambe tichiudza vanhu kuti ngana ane muswe, ngana ane mateya, ngana ane gotsi rakadai. Kwete. Let's focus on delivering our message ya comrade Savior Kasukuwere yekuti Zimbabwe inovakwa hongu nevene vayo. Vari kuti ichokwadi ichocho, asi vene vayo havangaivaki vasina chokuivakisa, nekuti pfuma yenyika yatorwa nevanobva kunze. Vana veZimbabwe vasara angova mavhenda, angova mahasla. Kwabuda mugodhi, ukangorota uri kutorerwa mugodhi iwoyo. Ukangorota zvawarota kuti kuseri uku ukachera gumba rako remarara, vabe warotswa una mwari wako kuti enda uku unochera, panobuda pane chitubu chemvura. Kune vari kuya vachiti mvura iyo hakodzere ndiwe kunwa, inofanira kunwiwa nesu. So he's coming to say, I want to give back ownership and control of our mineral resources, of our economic resources, into the hands of the majority, into the hands of the communities. Zimbabweans must decide their own destiny. If investors are going to come, will be coming on our terms. No Zimbabwean is going to be evicted from wherever he or she is. Pachinza apa pakuda kupiwa vanobva nekuko imi michibva yapo. He is going to restore our dignity. He is going to restore our broken lives. So he is saying, do not spread false information on anyone. Just sell our agenda to the masses. The last but not least of the 12 commandments, Zedu, Sema organizer, Sema commissar, Sema convener, is do not curse or speak evil about your country, Zimbabwe. Because Zimbabwe is ZANU-PF. Zimbabwe avasiva Mnangagwa. Zimbabwe avasiva Kasukuwere or vachamisa or Tsenengamu kana Jim. Zimbabwe ndini newe. If we speak evil about Zimbabwe, that evil will manifest. Let's bless our country. Let's speak positively about our country. Let's disagree, yes, on policies, on the way forward, on how things are supposed to be handled. But we must love our country. We must speak good about our country. We must seek to build our country together as Zimbabweans. And that can only be achieved by voting for an independent presidential candidate who is not pushing partisan interests, who is not pushing regional interests, who is not pushing tribal interests, who is saying, hakuna chinonzi mundere, hakuna chinonzi mukaranga, hakuna chinonzi mumanyika, hakuna chinonzi mukorekore, hakuna chinonzi mzezuru, mutonga, mukalanga, kana munambia, kana mundau. He is saying those are languages or dialects, zema languages edu. We cannot discriminate people on the basis of their languages or their dialects. Everyone is a Zimbabwean. He deserves to have equal and unhindered access to economic resources and economic opportunities. So this is what our presidential candidate is saying to all of us. So this is what I had to say in conclusion to all of you. But before we open up to have questions or areas where journalists would want clarity, I would want to now hand over to my sister here, who is the presidential spokesperson and our chief election agent, to touch on one or two issues from her side or on the areas that I have left out. So this is it, Zimbabwe. Over to you, Sister Jackie.
Thank you. I think everything has been well articulated. I'm just going to give a brief summary in Ndebele. Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere, President Xavier Kasukuwere, ukhuthaza ilizwe lonke ukuthi mhla ka-23 August isizalwane seZimbabwe siphume sonke ngobuningi baso siyemvotela ukuthi abe ngumongameli welizwe. Uthi yena mhlana selimvotela uba ngumongameli welizwe uzayenza konke akukwanisayo ukuthi ilizwe liphumelele. Kodwa kwakuqala uyabona yena ukuthi sesile inkinga lapha eZimbabwe ukuthi abantu ababambananga, abantu bayathethisana, abantu bayalimazana ngendaba zepolitics. So yena uthi yena nxa esengenile ukuba ngumongameli uyakhuthaza abantu beZimbabwe ukuthi singabantu banye, sibambane, singalimazani ngendaba zepolitics. Sibone njalo ukuthi ilizwe lethu ukuze liphumelele kumele sihlanganise amakhanda ethu ndawonye, ngoba ilizwe nxa lingabambananga akulalutho ezakwanisa ukuthi silwenze. Utsho njalo ukuthi thina njenga bakhuthaza abaka Xavier Kasukuwere sithi khona asisoze silithembiso into ezingesaze sizikwanisa ukuzenza, salithembisa khona esikwanisa ukukwenza, esingakukwanisiyo salitshela ukuthi hayi lokho asikukwanisi. Njalo linganaki labo abathenga ama-votes. Bengabuya kini besithi bafuna ukuthenga ama-votes, bafuna ukulinika lokhu lalokhuyana ukuthi le bavotela, lina liyathatha kuphela lizithulele. Kodwa mhlawumbe sesiyavota liyevotela uXavier Kasukuwere, ngoba kula muntu phela uzawubona ukuthi uvotele bani kumbe ubani, wena uyasivotela nje ukhululekile. Ngifuna ukukhuthaza njalo ukuthi abantu beZimbabwe babambane, sengiphinda futhi babambane ngoba le into ebikhulunywa kakhulu ukuthi kumele kube lokubambana, kumele kube lokukhangela indaba zentuthuko. So uComrade Xavier Kasukuwere uzabuya eletha intuthuko. Sabona ukuthi izikolo sibili abantwana bahamba amakhilomitha amaningi ukuthi baze bayefunda, izibhedlela zokuzizilutshwane kwezinye indawo sona isibhedlela esizodwa esachiya sakhiwe ngu-Ian Smith iso sodwa silokhu sikhona. So zonke indaba lezi indaba azibonayo azazilungisa mhlane sengena ukuba ngumongameli. Uthena uzasebenza la wonke ama-political parties, indaba zokuthi izanu i-Triple C, i-MDC, izap indaba esezibange kube lomsindo omningi elizweni. Omnye sithi izanu yoyodwa, omnye sithi CCC yoyodwa. Kodwa hayi ayisikho lokho okusenza sibe yilizwe. Ekusenza sibe yilizwe ukuthi singamaZimbabweni. So yena uzathi nxa esengumongameli uzathatha ke ihulumende yakhe kusuka kuba MP awezanu, athathe njalo kwabe CC abafunayo abasebenzeka labo, athathe njalo kuma independence la amsekelayo la kathesi bakhona ama independence amsekelayo uPresident Xavier Kasukuwere. So siyalikhuthaza ukuthi mhla ka-23 August njalo kulikhuthaza ukuthi uyeza uComrade Xavier Kasukuwere. Sikhuluma njalo labase diaspora ukuthi hayi uyakwazi ukuthi ediaspora kubuhlungu sibili, abantu basebenza ama-shift, basebenza isikhathi zonke, isikhathi sonke umuntu abesebenza ngala sikhathi zokuthi abone imuli ngoba uyabezama ukuthi abambanise ahlanganise ukuthi athumezele imali lapha ekhaya. Konke lokhu uyakubona la esehlale khona ngale phandle welizwe engakwanisi ukuthi abuye ngapha ngokufuna kwakhe. So yena uthi uyalikhumbula isizalwane seZimbabwe esiphandle, uyalikhumbula sibili lamalungelo enu lokuthi abaningi benu lifusa ukuthi libuye ngemuva libuyele ekhaya. Yikho lapha esithi khona sizasebenza thina sonke amaZimbabwe silungise ilizwe ukuze abantwana beZimbabwe bengabi belokhu bephuma besiya phandle besiyazama ukuthi badinga impilo phandle le, babuye beze ngapha ekhaya bebone la kulamathuba okuthuthuka lokuphumelela lokuthi umuntu ukwanisa ukuthi ugcina imuli yakho. So abese diaspora uyalikhumbula kakhulu uXavier Kasukuwere, kalikhohlanga, and njalo uyalikhuthaza ukuthi lilinde ukuthi mhlane sephendukile, mhlane senguye umongameli, ilizwe labe selisebenza lani yakwanisa ukuthi lithola amathuba labo eliwalande ephandle lizawathola khona apha eZimbabwe. Bona ngani sengithe xaka konke nxa kulokunye ngikutshileyo, but bona ngani ngubambile ngizama ukuthi ngusummarize nje okube kukhulunywa nguComrade Tsenengamu ukuthi wonke umuntu azwe. Ngikhohliwe ukuthi namhlanje ilanga lokukhumbula ubaba wethu umdala wethu uComrade Joshua Mqabuko Nyongolonkomo. Ilanga elicakathekileyo eZimbabwe yonke simkhumbula ngoba sabona ukuthi sibili lapha esikhokhela uComrade Joshua Mqabuko Nkomo wayengumuntu okhuthaza abantu futhi ukuthi babambane. Lokho kokuthi lo ngumNdebele, lo ngumshona, lo ngowaseMalawi ngaphi hayi asimelanga sikwenze lokho ngoba kuyakusenza ukuthi siphambane nje singazwanani. So siyaliqakathekisa ilanga leli simkhumbula umdala wethu ukuthi ngakuthiwa usakhona ubeza sikhuthaza lathi khona okho esikutsho ukuthi hayi lingabi lokhu liliswana ngendaba yokuthi wena usupporta izanu kumbe izapho kumbe ini, lingabi lokhu liliswana ngendaba zelizwe, kodwani libambani iZimbabwe ithuthuke. So ilanga esilikhumbulayo, ilanga esiqakathekisayo.
No, thank you so much, Comrade Spokes and our Chief Election Agent for this campaign. So now it's time for us to take questions from the floor, from our journalists, if there are any areas that you think need clarity before we close. Oh, okay. I think what I would want to say to that is this coming election, we are very sure that no single political party is going to get 2/3 majority, unlike what happened in 2018. And from our point of view, even if any political party was going to get 2/3, which in any case is not going to happen, Comrade Kasukuwere doesn't have to worry himself about all that because he will be working with everyone. So there won't be any reason on any grounds for anyone to try and impeach a president who is delivering, a president who is unifying people, a president who is emancipating every Zimbabwean, including those parliamentarians. So if people are going to be objective and work for the good of Zimbabwe, they must be able to work with President Kasukuwere. And this is the reason why we said he's not going to field parliamentary candidates so that he will be in a position to work with everyone, to have consensus. Because what must happen in parliament is that instead of a political party forcing through its legal agenda, there must be some negotiations. People must try to find common ground and agree on what is supposed to happen in parliament. So this coming parliament, even some of us as independents are going to be in parliament. That is, there are no two ways about it. I'll be in parliament, and we'll make sure that we also contribute objectively and positively to the development that is supposed to take place in Zimbabwe. So I don't see any reason why people must be worried about President Kasukuwere being impeached, because there are grounds for impeachment. And we don't anticipate that, because we know that he is a doer. He is a man of action, and he can deliver. So we are not even worried about all that. So basically, we have no reason to worry about impeachment or anything on those grounds. Yeah, before I give it to my sister to respond to that as a presidential spokesperson, I would want to respond to it as a commissar. I would want to correct you when you said to campaign for himself. He's not supposed to campaign for himself, because he didn't say, I want to be president. We said, we want you to be our president. So first and foremost, it is our responsibility as Zimbabweans to campaign for him to win. So, because it's never about him, it's about us, our children, and their children. Then secondly, people must, as much as she's going to respond to that, I would want to say, people must appreciate that the liberation struggle was fought when the leaders were not at the front. They were in exile. Some were in Mozambique, others were in Zambia. The likes of President Mugabe came to Zimbabwe in February when elections were in March. But they won. Why? Because they were running with the people's agenda. The people appreciated what they represented, and people voted for them. So it's not because someone has to be in Zimbabwe 24/7 or has to be in Zimbabwe for years for them to win. The Comrade Kasukuwere is going to win even if he's to come a day before elections, because Zimbabweans identify with the cause that he's representing, and Zimbabweans have called him to come and represent them and work for them. So the cause is for Zimbabweans, and Zimbabweans are going to deliver victory, are going to get that victory on their own behalf and on behalf of Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere. But in terms of the times and everything, I'll leave that to Comrade Jake Sand. I just wanted to respond to it as a political commissar.
Well answered. Yes, sir. Yes, maybe just to reiterate, President Xavier Kasukuwere will be coming to Zimbabwe in due course. The chairperson, Dr. Walter Mzembe, will be announcing in the coming week the exact date that he is coming. It's not going to be a secret. Once everything, all the modalities are put in place, the announcement is going to be made by the chairperson, and we're going to ask all Zimbabweans from all walks of life to come and witness this event as he comes to campaign. Yes, he is not afraid of coming back, and there is no reason why he shouldn't come back. I know that it has been peddled in the media that he's a fugitive from justice, that he cannot come home without getting arrested. But I'd like to say anyone who's got any cause to get him arrested would have had him arrested by now. And anything else would just be a political ploy. And no arrest is going to be made. He's going to come a free man, and he's going to roam the breadth and length of the country to garner support for his presidential candidature. And come 23 of August, is going to emerge the winner of this election.
Maybe to say a little bit more on that. Look, even if he was going to be arrested, let's assume they are to arrest him. We still vote for him while he's in prison. So he'll be coming from prison to State House. So we don't care whether they are going to arrest him or not. So it will be a blessing in disguise for a former prisoner, political prisoner, then to be coming from prison straight to State House.
Exactly.
Even Mandela came from prison to live. So nyaya kusungwa iyi haina kana basa rese, because people know that it's victimization. He came here, he cleared all the issues, so we are not worried. But if anyone, like what Comrade Spoke said, wants to arrest him, please go ahead, but be rest assured that Zimbabweans are going to vote for him while he is in prison. And vachanomtora ikoko achienda kuinauguration achibuda mu prison and become the next head of state. So that's it about mathreats ekunzi kusungwa nekudi. It's not much.
He is coming, definitely.
Definitely he's coming.
And it's not going to be a clandestine affair. Zimbabweans will know, because it is Zimbabweans like myself, like many others, who've been calling him endlessly to say, come back home, we need you to intervene. The situation is not well at all, and we need a proper leader who can come and take over. So he will come and he will be addressing the people.
If any other questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As a movement or as a people, we have so much respect for our freedom fighters, our war veterans, our fathers and mothers. We respect them for the sacrifices that they made. Vakazvipira kudeura misodzi dikita neropa ravo kuti tive zvatiri nhasi Zimbabwe inge ichisununguka. Saka tinovatenda. Ndinoda kuti nditi maybe makataura nemuwo veteran 1 or 2, because hakuna dzivawo risinawo zvinowanika mariri. But war veterans echokwadi vakanorwa vakadeura misodzi dikita neropa ravo vari kutsigira vakasukuwere, vari kutaura kuti donzo ratakanorwira kuchimurenga nezvaakuitika munyika sandizvo. Takarwira gutsa ruzhinji kwaane gutsa vashoma. Takarwira kuti tive neupfumi hwedu, tidye rifa riri kudyiwa navashoma. Takarwira freedom, munyika hamuna freedom. Saka kune vashoma hongu vari kudyawo nevari patafura vanotaurawo zvavari kutaura. But rudende rwevarwi vehondo yerusununguko muchatovaona vachifamba nesu, zvokuti ivava vacho vamakanzwa vachidaro vachatogumisirawo vauya kunoshanda pamwe chete nevamwe. Hakuna chinonzi no go area muZimbabwe, hakuna chakadaro. Kwese tinenge tichienda masikati machena, hakuna zviroto izvozvo, hakuna. Saka hatidedi kuwanza mashoko kuna vana baba vedu kana chiri chokwadi kuti ndizvo zvavadini zvavataura. Asi isu tinongoda ngoti titi aiwa navakasukuwere tinenge tichifamba takasununguka. Ndoda ngokupa small response. Takaita imwe experience when I went to Mount Down South as a candidate. Ndakasvika kune imwe ward, then I was talking to people and some more veterans came. You see, they were furious. Vanzo tinopane vanhu vapanduka vadini vadai. So we were gathered pasi pemuti tiri kutaura zvedu. Ndokubva tavapa zvemacheya, ndokubva vatanga kuteerera, ndokutanga kutaura zvedu, kutaura. Vakazosimuka ipapo vakuti saka iye Kasukuwere ari kuya rini mumudza takamumirira pano, because they understand kuti the party has been hijacked by a family. They understand that the party has been hijacked by cartels. They understand that the party has been hijacked by capitalists, by exploiters, by opportunists. And real war veterans do not tolerate that. So vari kuzviziva kuti even state yakepchwa. Saka war veterans yechokwadi vari kutomira nemwana wavo Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere, avo vachiri kumira nezvavari kumira nazvo aiwa ikodzero yavo, but zvokuti vanofunga kuti vanotimisa aiwa no. Saka mamisiro avakangotadzawo kuitwawo iwo naSmith, iwo futi ngavazive kuti kana vaine pfungwa idzodzo avatimise, because we are determined to claim our own victory, which is in this economic struggle emancipation yemazimbabweans. So that's it about now. But nongofungira kuti there are just a few comrades vanenge vachidaro. So ndoda kuti titende nemukana watawana iwoyuyu. Comrade Kasukuwere zita ravo rakabuda pagovernment gazette. So all that confusion yekunzi is not going to stand or whatever, izvo zvichisiyana inazvo, musatarise kumwe kunoku. Chiregai kutambisa munyu muchirunga zhura, ngatichimhanya ine campaign kwese kwatiri kuma provinces, kuma constituencies, kuma wards. Vanoda kuziva vekubata tibate isu tokudirectai kune vamunonoshanda nawo at various levels, tese tiri equal. Ndoda kukutendai Zimbabwe. Tinosangana musi wa23 August, tinosangana mundima tichikambena murunyararo pasina mhirizhonga. May God bless Zimbabwe. May God bless you all. I thank you.